Good day everyone. I am Ira May Salingumba Mages, BSED 3A, and this is my answer in Chapter 8, Activity, Explore, Apply, and Assess. So, entitled, Designing and Evaluating Portfolio Assessment in the Classroom. So, let's first discuss my answer in Explore. So, this is the instruction. Discuss the concepts of designing and evaluating portfolio assessment in the situation given. Number 1. As a grade 7 teacher, Miss Aisa has decided to implement a science portfolio in her class. She believes that portfolio increases students' learning and encourages students to become more reflective learner and develop skills in evaluating strengths and weakness of their work. She provides clear books for the students and tells them that they to put all their activities and examinations in it. Moreover, she kept on reminding her students that they will discuss the content of the portfolio. Was the plan properly implemented and adequate? Is the plan consistent with the principle of a designing a portfolio? What else does she need to improve her implementation? So this is my answer. According on my research, a portfolio assessment can be an examination of students' selected samples of work, experiences, and documents related to outcomes being assessed. And it can address and support progress toward achieving academic goals, including student efficacy. The concept of designing and evaluating portfolio assessment in the situation given is all about Teacher Aisa's learning plan, which is for me, it is very effective. However, Teacher Aisa needs to make another learning plan strategies in order to catch her students' attentions and be creative to their portfolio. Teacher Aisa also need to discuss how to arrange their portfolio in order to be organized, as well as the format of the portfolio to be clear and uniform once she check their output. It can also help the students to learn more and lighten their minds once they open their portfolio. So that's my answer. Kasi mas natututo rin yung bata kapag yung gamit niya or yung portfolio nila ay maayos at maayos at arrange. So let's proceed to my answer in apply. So discuss the concepts of designing and evaluating portfolio assessment in the situation given. Matrix completion. So this is the instruction. For a subject specialization, you will teach, identify learning targets that will be appropriate and indicate classroom activities and its corresponding assessment task. And portfolio evidence or evidences, use template provided. So this is my answer. So year or grade level, so my answer is I choose grade 9. Topic, so I choose the topic of akademikong pagsulat.
So these are my performance standards. So first, learning targets. Nauunawaan ang kahulugan ng akademikong pagsulat. So my learning activities in this learning targets is pagtatalakay ng akademikong pagsulat at pagbabahagi ng sariling kaalaman tungkol rito. So my assessment task in this part is oral recitation. My portfolio evidence is score at feedback kasama ang larawan ng estudyante habang nagsasalita sa harap ng klase. So that's my portfolio evidence. So let's proceed in my answer or my second learning target. So my second learning targets is na ipapahayag ang kahalagaan ng akademikong pagsulat. So classroom activities in this learning targets is pangangalap ng impormasyon tungkol sa akademikong pagsulat at pagbabahagi ng kahalagahan nito sa oras ng klase. So my assessment task in this part is pagsasanay at oral recitation. So my portfolio evidence is ang mga kinalap na impormasyon ng mga mag-aaral o ang kanilang output. So, that's my portfolio evidence in this learning targets, which is na ipapahayag ang kahalagan na akademikong pagsulat.
So let's proceed on my third answer, which is my third learning targets, which is naihahambing ang kahalagahan ng akademikong pagsulat sa tunay na buhay. So, my classroom activities in this learning targets is pagbabahagi ng sariling pananaw at karanasan tungkol sa akademikong pagsulat. So, my assessment task in this part is written test at oral recitation. So, portfolio evidence, ang kanilang isinulat tungkol sa kanilang sariling pananaw at karanasan tungkol sa akademikong pagsulat, kalakip ang kanilang nakuhang score sa oral recitation. So, let's proceed to my fourth learning targets, which is nakasusulat ng mga akademikong sulatin. So, my classroom activities in this learning targets is pagsulat ng sariling iba't ibang akademikong pagsulat at ilagay ito sa papel. So, my assessment task in this learning targets is written test, and my portfolio evidence is ang kanilang output o sariling gawa ng iba't ibang akademikong pagsulat. So, let's proceed to my answer in assess. So, letter A, designing a portfolio. So, this is the instruction. Plan a portfolio by completing each question in the portfolio development checklist. Check the necessary boxes that apply and provide necessary explanation and discussion if necessary. Attach document to support your detail of claims. Number 1. What purpose or purposes will your portfolio serve? Check any that apply. So, I checked 7. So, my first check is prepare a sample of best work for future teachers to see. Second, communicate to parents what has been learned. So, my third check is assign course goals. Fourth is create collections of favorite or best work. My fifth check is document achievement for alternative credit. My sixth check is submission to a college or employer. And the last one is to show growth in skills and disposition. So as you can see, I didn't evaluate my teachings. Let's proceed to number 2. What cognitive skills will be assessed by the individual entries? So, I check all except for the others. So, first, I check cognitive strategies. Second, deep understanding. Third, communication. Fourth, metacognition. Fifth, procedural skills and knowledge construction. So, let's proceed to number 3. What dispositions do you want entries to reflect? So, I check also all except for others. So, first, I checked flexibility, persistence, collaboration, acceptance of feedback. So, lahat yan ay check para sa akin. So, let's proceed to my answer number 4. What criteria or rubrics will you use to judge the extent to which these skills positions were achieved? So, my answer is analytic rubric. Because an analytic rubric resembles a grid with a criteria for a student product listed in the leftmost column and with levels of performance listed across the top row, often using numbers and or descriptive tags. When scoring with an analytical rubric, each of the criteria is scored individually. So, that's my answer. So, my number 5 answer is, in rating portfolio as a whole, what things will you look for? So, my answer is, First, growth in skill or performance. And second is presentation. So, let's proceed to my answer number 6, which is, what kind of sale will you construct to rate the overall portfolio? So, my answer is, I will create a rubric by writing and listing down the side of a paper page. Across the top, I will write numbers from 1 to 5. I will also draw horizontal and vertical lines to form squares across the page and write a description of what would I represent the highest score for the first criterion on the list. So that's my answer, and that's what I will do. So my answer number 7 is, how will you combine all your ratings into the final grade? So my answer is simply by adding all the scores together, then divide by the number of scores I use. So let's proceed to my answer number 8, which is having question, which is, who will be involved in the planning process? So my answer is, yes, it is the learners and teachers. So let's proceed to my answer number 9, which is, what content categories are included in the portfolio? So my answer is quizzes, oral recitation, activities, and exams. Number 10, will learners have a choice over content categories? So my answer is yes. Number 11, who decides what samples to include in each content area? So my answer is, of course, the teachers. Number 12, how many samples will be included in each area? So my answer is more than 2 examples. So my number 13, have you specified deadlines of the entries? Yes. Yes, of course, it have a deadline. So number 14, have you developed forms to rate and summarize ratings for all drafts and final products? So my answer is yes. So number 15, so this is the question. What are your instructions on how work gets turned in and returned? So my answer is, I will keep track of how many have left to review and return the portfolio with scores. Then I will give feedback or points before returning their works. In that way, the students will also know what is their strength and what field they need to improve more. I will also have the option to return their works to students and request a revision or remedial if needed. So, number 16, where will the portfolio be kept and who has access to them? So, this is the question. So, my answer is where? So, my answer in where is in the classroom. So, who specifies students? Number 17, who will plan, conduct, and attend the final conference? So, my answer is learners, other teachers, parents, and principal. So, that's my answer in Chapter 8 Activity, Explore, Assess, and Apply. Thank you for listening, and God bless us all. Keep safe.